Hey, what's up, y'all? I wanted to bring you guys a new video and a new build, or not necessarily new build, but a different way of looking at how you can play Necromancer. And what I mean by that is attack speed. Now, I've been sleeping on this aspect for quite a while, and my gameplay drastically improved when I got this specific aspect, and I imprinted it on my focus item so that I can do insane damage. I was just experimenting with different aspects, and I came across this aspect, and I found that if you paired it with um, a wand or Black River, it does amazing, insane damage. And so what it is that your critical strikes with core skills increase your attack speed by 23%, 5 seconds. Now, since being a necromancer and having one of the Paragon boards bone graft, giving you so much critical strike, um, not only that, from your abilities too, get if you go to your skill tree and you go here, get critical strike chance up the wazoo, critical strike damage up the wazoo. So everything you do is critical strike damage when you go with a bone build, and so you want to be going with this particular aspect here, so that you can spam your bone spears, so that you can spam your corpse explosions, and you'll see the difference. It's a huge difference once you have that aspect on it. You're essentially just spamming your corpse explosions and spamming your spears. Everything's vulnerable, everything's dying, and everything gets obliterated. The other aspects that you're gonna need are this one. Howl from below. Corpse explosion summons a volatile skeleton and explodes on impact. Now the damage is increased by 36%. Now if you don't have Black River, you can go with a wand, right? And just simply imprint, if it doesn't already come with the critical strikes with core skills increase your attack speed by 23% already on it. You can imprint that aspect onto it and then go with another aspect on this focus item that you would have. So regardless, even if you didn't have Black River and you went with a wand, you're still going to be spamming your bone spear and your corpse explosion, and everything's still going to be obliterated. Just with Black River, it takes it to the next level because corpse explosion deals an additional 130% increased damage with a 25% larger radius. So keep that in mind. We're going Hued Flesh, right? We have 3 points in Hued Flesh, right? So that you get a ton of corpses on the ground, okay? And then once you have that, also with Black River, it consumes up to 4 additional corpses, right? So if you have a shit ton of corpses on the ground, you're exploding them all at once. All your targets are vulnerable because you're spamming your bone spear. You're using your corpse tendril, and everything's vulnerable. And then you use your corpse explosion, and the damage gets stacked, right, for enemies that are slowed or vulnerable. And since they're always going to be slowed and vulnerable, all your damages are going to be stacked and on top of what you already have. And it just makes the gameplay loop is so good. And I've ran the two-hand bone spear one, but I found this one to be a lot more enjoyable because if you go with the two-hander, and you use the vulnerable aspect on the two-hander, essentially all you're doing is chucking bone spears, right? Moving back, try to regenerate your essence, and then use your bone spears again. And I find that gameplay to be a little bit unenjoyable. Um, so with that said, I'm just gonna go over the other aspects that I'm running real quick, and some of these are non-negotiable, and others you can go ahead and it's subject to change, so it's up to you. But you're definitely gonna need this, where Bone Spear leaves behind echoes. Um, I've opted to go with Bone Spear gives you Bone Storm damage, gives you a barrier. Obviously we're going with this. Oh, in addition, it gives you corpse skill attack speed, so it's even faster compared when you pair it with this. Now this is a non-negotiable. You need the armor. You have to have this on your helm, chest, amulet, or pants. No matter where you put it, you have to have this. And then for boots, since I'm not running Blood Mist, I'm going with the aspect that gives you unstoppable when you're CC'd and you become injured. And then the last two I'm running is the one that gives you increased critical strike damage with the Ossified Essence key passive. And then you get critical strike damage when you use your Corpse Tendrils. So let's go over the skills real quick. I'm running Corpse Explosion, Bone Prison, Corpse Tendrils, Bone Storm, Bone Splinters, and Bone Spear. Now, the reason why I opted to go with this as well is so that I get increased attack speed for your Bone Splinters. Your Bone Splinters gives you essence as well. So you're spamming your Bone Splinters, you're spamming your Bone Spear, and you're also getting essence from Corpse Explosion. So the gameplay loop is pretty good, and I find it to be really fun. Alright, so let's take a look at the skills real quick and what I'm running, and look at the abilities. So first we'll go over the Book of Dead. Everything here is sacrificed. So we will go with defenders so that we get non-physical resistant damage. Increased damage to vulnerable enemies. Alright, so we're going with the cold. And then your golem. This here is a game breaker right here. So you deal 30% increased critical strike damage. Okay. So that also is on top of all the additional critical strikes that you have. So, alright, let's talk about abilities. Of course, there's really nothing new to it. Bone Splinters, you know, you have 3 points in perfectly in balance. You don't really need to increase your max essence since you're already consuming a lot of corpses and spamming your Bone Splinters as well to get essence back. You max out Bone Spear, max out Hued Flesh, max out Corpse Explosion, you max out Grim Harvest, Fuel by Death. I was able to get 3 points into Bone Prison. And you go with the Dreadful Bone Prison. I have 7 points in Corpse Tendril. And that's mainly because of the gear that I have on and gives me additional points that don't really necessarily need. But the 6.5 second cooldown on Corpse Tendril is really nice. 2 points into Necrotic Carapace to get additional fortification. And then you want all your points in here. You want 3 points in this, 3 points in this, 3 points in this, and 2 points in this so that you're getting your Bone Storm back and your Bone Prison back as well. This here is also non-negotiable. You need 3 points. You get 3 points out of this and 3 points out of this. And then Bone Storm, put 3 points there. And then you go with the Ossified Essence key stone passive. Now, you could go Blood of Mist. You could go Decrepify, right? You could go like some form of, you know, darkness abilities and get increased damages there, but I found this gameplay to be really fast, and I find it to be really enjoyable. Now, although I like Blighted Corpse Explosion and Blighted Bone Storm, I found this to be really good. So, all right, Paragon board. Let's talk about the glyphs real quick. We have the exploit glyph so that you get additional vulnerable damage. We're going with territorial so that you're getting damage reduction so that you have survivability, and on top of that it gives you damage to close enemies. Since you Bone Prison and you Bone Storm, there are going to be a lot of times where you are close to enemies, and that additional damage is really good. And then we're going with control. Now, I don't know how many people are running this or not running it, but this is a non-negotiable. 50% damage to crowd controlled enemies. All your enemies are always going to be crowd controlled in one way or another. So not only you're doing 50% damage to crowd control, and that's because I have it upgraded, but you also get an additional 10% increased damage to slowed. Now your corpse tendrils also slows, right, enemies? Okay. And in addition, it stuns. So you're getting an additional 30% damage from that. Not only that, but you also have Bone Prison. So you're always getting increased damage from that. Let's talk about the magic nodes. And the legendary ones. You're going with Bone Graft board, and you're going with Scent of Death board. Now, the reason why you go with Bone Graft board first is so that you can get the additional increase in damage instantly, and then you go with this second so that you get the additional damage decrease and damage reduction. Because once you start getting once you get your second board and are able to start putting points into that, that means you're going to be doing, you know, higher keys, higher tier dungeons, and you're going to need that survivability. So you have to go with this. Now these rare nodes, what you wanna do is you wanna get your power spikes, and you wanna put your points into all the ones that give you the power spike instantly. So here's a power spike. You're using your points to get to there. There's another power spike. You know, so you want to use your points to get to those. And say if you're not able to get to a power spike, say you're only able to get to this one here, and you still need a lot of points to get to another glyph socket, right? What you want to do is, for all the additional points that you have, right, you want to start filling out these guys here and fill out all your magic nodes. And then once you have the additional points that you need to get, you know, an additional rare node or an additional glyph socket, and the points and Paragon nodes to give you the bonuses, and then you go ahead and unsocket the magic nodes and put them into the nodes that are going to give you that additional power spike. So that's the board, those are the skills, and enjoy the gameplay.
Without you. shadows living through the glass. I shed the skin from this old dying form. Then I am adorned in scales. Free from pain. In the scales are reflected faces I know. Villagers who scorned me, cursed me, laughed at me. Tongues flick in the darkness. I feel their yearn in my thoughts. Each life is a sacrifice for us. Each life is a scale for your rebirth. I awaken, and the snake is at my feet, waiting.